important part of the universal work that Baba was doing ceaselessly for the upliftment of not only humanity but the entire creation. So these two pieces could very well go together and form a priceless collection in Baba literature.
Thank you. So then, there's a lot in the diaries about World War II.
Yeah.
And so how aware were you of the war at the time?
Well, considerable reference to World War II is contained in the diaries. Although I was so young at the time, being only 9 years old when the Great War began, I was keenly aware of it. The hardships that we experienced have left their imprint on me. See, we had to face a lot of hardships in those years. There would be rationing and food was rationed, cloth was rationed. We had to stand in queues to get these coupons, to buy food, even to buy our cloth. And fuel was rationed. So traveling was a big hassle. Everything was, there was this war effort. India had to play a great part to help, to assist England in this war that it was waging against Nazi Hitler, Nazi Germany. So we had to pay a great price for that, and the war had quite an impact on all of us. So I remember all those hardships and inconveniences that we suffered. Traveling was a problem. Trains were overcrowded. Most of the trains were requisitioned by the military. So the few that were available for civilian use, they were extremely overcrowded. And there was so much inconvenience traveling anywhere in the country. The private travel, the fuel was rationed. You couldn't do private travel, much private travel also. That's how it was.
Yeah, so there's a lot in the diaries about the events of World War II and how Baba was, Donkin shows how Baba was doing some work in the ashram and at the same time something was happening on the world stage. I just wonder if you want to say anything about that.
The diaries give an inkling of how beloved Baba was working behind the scenes in the conduct of the war. He was giving hints in advance of the events that would occur. And the work that he was doing with the monks in seclusion at that time was being reflected in the world events, and it was a time of great upheaval. Europe and the Far East were engulfed in a terrible conflict that resulted in a terrible carnage and millions perished. Even before the World War started in 1939, Baba had money, performed a concert, and Baba had given her points that she was to mimic the world leaders like Chamberlain and Hitler, Mussolini, and all these people who were the main characters in the war. So Baba was quite serious about this play, and he asked Bani to get play, and it was all done hush-hush. All the rehearsals that were going on for quite a few weeks. We were there in the ashram in Jabalpur, and Baba had told Mani to do all this. So Mani, Mani was very talented in all spheres of life, extremely talented. She was a great actress. She was a superb literary figure. Yeah. And she was one with many talents. And one of her talents was acting and mimicking and all that. So she got these acts together, and eventually, when everything was ready, Baba had invited all the people around and some other people from, I think, Bombay and other places to come. And this play was enacted. So Mani played the part of Hitler. And the way she dressed up with those military boots and uniform and all that, with a moustache, typical of Hitler, and the way she acted, it was quite fun to watch that. And she really resembled like Hitler. And then Katie was given the part of Mussolini. So Katie wasn't big and hefty like Mussolini. So big pillows were stuffed underneath, and she was having this big belly, and she started saying things in Italian, nothing, just rubbish, gibberish. But the way Mussolini would speak and impress the crowd and all that. And then Rano, the lean, tall woman in the ashram, she became Chamberlain with the umbrella, Chamberlain was famous for his umbrella. So she played all those parts. Mani was directing them quietly, and the whole play was so well acted that Baba was very pleased with the effort. And I don't know what work he was doing. This is just before the World War started. So you can imagine how much Baba was behind all this activity, his activity, and influencing the world events. And this is how it went on.
So what's this incident you want to talk about here? You said there's an incident that occurred in about 1940. What's that you want to? What the question was for that one?
Now I'll give you an example of how Baba works quietly, what work he was doing in seclusion. So we were in Bangalore, it was 1940 or 41, and it is mentioned in the diaries also, that Baba undertook to go to Ceylon for some work. So he got all the women mandali and quite a few men mandali, and in the blue bus they all journeyed to South India, and from there the whole bus was ferried across a stretch of water to cross into Ceylon. At that time there was no other system, so ferries were there, and Baba had the whole big group taken to Ceylon Baba said he had important work to do in Ceylon. So they all went there, and we were in Bangalore, and the telegram had arrived that we were also to come and join Baba in Ceylon. So Ceylon was not part of India, and we needed all the papers. We had to get vaccinated, shots for cholera, and smallpox and all this, and all that was done, and we got ready to go to Ceylon. And we were about to leave when the telegram arrived that Baba had cut short his tour of his stay in Ceylon, and that we were not to come to Ceylon but join Baba in Calicut, where he had come. There is a reference in the diaries about that. So now, but when he was in Ceylon, what happened? I'll just give you an idea of how Baba works. So Baba had also taken with him a very special must called Chetty Baba. He was a very advanced sixth plane must, and he was a very genial, he had a very genial and loving personality. He was, you see that what Baba has said, it's mentioned in the Wayfarers also, that there are two types of musts. One is the Jamali type and one is the Jalali type. And Jamali musts are mild-mannered and very loving and very nicely behaved. Whereas the Jalalis, they are fierce, they have a hot temper, and they won't allow people to approach them. And Chetty Baba was of the Jamali type. So he had taken Chetty Baba along with him to Ceylon. Baba said he had very special work for him to do there. And then they went to Kandy, Kandy is a hill station in Ceylon. At that time, Kandy was the capital of Ceylon, not Colombo. So, and it's a beautiful hill resort in central Ceylon, up in the mountains. And Baba had taken all of them there, and Donkin and others had been sent in advance to search out bungalows, and Baba had stayed there in Kandy. So there were 2 or 3 bungalows taken, and one bungalow was specially taken for this must Chetty Baba. So he was housed in a nice big house which was having all glass doors and windows, and Chetty Baba was all alone kept in that big house. And all day Baba would work with him in seclusion while Baba was there. And Chetty Baba and Baba would be closeted in that bungalow for many hours during the day. And at night, Baba would go off to his place. The women had a separate quarters, the men had separate quarters. So, and a watchman used to be kept for where Chetty Baba was staying. And what happened was that one night, Chetty Baba suddenly became very ferocious. He started swearing loudly